Hey guys, King of Try Matters here, and today I bring to you the budget Kushala range builds. No Kushala Armor. This video features the best budget builds for the Kushala Daora ranged weapons. These builds require no Kushala Armor and can use armor you may already have built. This video also will take a look at how Kushala ranged weapons stack up against the rest of the ice meta. So Kushala ranged weapons versus Legiana and Barriet, which are the current meta for the ice ranged weapons. Alright, let's jump right into it. We're going to start with the first of the two ranged weapons, which is the bow. And this is the best budget Kushala bow build. This is the best build for the Kushala bow weapons that do not require other skills to unlock their potential. So it's budget, and this build has a theoretical practical damage assessment of 4,944. This build has ice attack level 4, which is the highest it can go without drift smelting. I got a lot of comments that were like, oh, no, this is the lowest. You could do this, and no, this is lit. Without drift smelting, and even some people that commented would like drift smelting, their builds didn't make any sense. No, this is the literal only way you could do it. Because you only have two slots. You need to have the Azarathlos helmet, the Puke mail, or the Rathalos mail, and Gyrototus Greaves. You need 3 pieces of armor to have focus 5 if you aren't using the Kushala pieces, which is the Kushala gloves, which gives you focus level 1. Again, this build has ice attack level 4, which is the highest it can go without drift smelting. And if you have it, you can replace the Puke mail with the pink Rathia mail to give 1 level focus, like I mentioned before. To use this build, you need the Kushala Daora bow at grade 8 or at grade 10 or as high as you're going to get it, the Azarathlos helmet at grade 6, the Puke mail at grade 4, the Barriet fan braces at grade 6, Legiana coil at grade 6, and the Gyrototus Greaves at grade 6. Next up, we're going to compare the budget build versus the best build. Here we see the difference between the best and the budget Kushala bow builds, and the difference is very minimal. Literally close to just 3%, which is, or 2.98% to be exact. Yeah, 2.98. This means the budget build will still perform well against Ice Weak monsters, and it can be used long term if you do not wish to build Kushala Armor. So if you don't want to build Kushala Armor, you just want to stick with Elemental Attack 4, Focus 5, and you just want to invest in the weapon, that's totally fine. However, consider switching to Kushala Armor in the future as the game goes on if you plan on drift smelting. If you're going to drift smelt, I do not recommend you're going to drift smelt into the budget build. It's expensive. So if you're going to go big or go home. So the thing is, if you plan to drift smelt to Ice Attack level 5, use the Azarathlos Helm or the Gyrototus Greaves. Those 2 pieces are still going to be relevant for other builds, so if you're going to use or drift smelt in anything, then again, use the Azarathlos Helm or the Gyrototus Greaves. But if you're going to go for a full drift smelt build, again, as someone with a full drift smelt build, and for how long it takes, you might as well go big or go home. But it's totally up to you. Up next, we have the budget Kushala bow builds versus the top Kushala bow builds. So here we compare the budget build versus multiple Kushala equipment builds. So this is top 3. The top 3 you can put together, and there's the budget build right there. And as you see, there is a minimal difference as far as damage goes. Even if you have latent power, yeah, 3.98%, which is like a little under 200. It's a little big, but it's not going to make much of a difference. Like, if you're going to the wire, probably will. If you're trying to add a few extra seconds, probably will. But other than that, if you're using budget, it won't really matter. However, keep in mind, you're still investing in an Elder Dragon interception weapon, so it can still be expensive if you decide to take it to grade 10.5. So if you're going to max out your Kushala bow, it's going to still be expensive. I think from the top of my head, since I'm going after it right now, you still need 48 Daora horns, which are rarity 6. So unless you're doubling your materials like me when you see a rarity 6 drop, this is going to take a hot second for you. And again, it's going to be a lot of materials and resources invested into said weapon. Alright, now that we did the other builds, how about the rest of the ice meta? This is the Kushala bow budget versus the rest of the ice meta. Here we compare the Kushala budget bow build versus the rest of the ice meta. Of course, with a charge level 3 at damage level 4, the Kushala bow is the best ice meta bow. Just like how the Black Diablos is the best raw weapon just because of that charge, it makes a humongous difference. As you see right here, if you look at the data, it's a whole whooping 20% above Legiana bow and 25 above Barriet. That is huge. This is not taking into consideration also the charge sidestep. Charge sidestep allows you to reposition faster and dodge monster attacks faster, and allows you to move faster. So, because of that into consideration, it's not just offense, it's also defense. 20% is huge, but this is only if you're willing to put in the work and effort to building the Kushala bow. Even at lower grades, the Kushala bow will do better just because of the weapon compensation due to charge level 3. No weapon or bow on Earth will beat a bow that has a charge level 3 if you have to have a charge level 4 at charge level 4. In other words, 3 blinks versus 2 blinks, obviously never gonna beat it. So that's why the Kushala bow and the Black Gallus bow are just so dang powerful, because of the charge level 3 at damage level 4. So damage level 4, charge level 3 again. Super powerful. But there is another powerful ranged weapon, and it's known as the light bowgun. This is the best Kushala light bowgun build. And it's also the budget one, because this is the best build for the Kushala light bowgun weapons that do not require other skills to unlock their potential, as well as the budget version, as it doesn't need Kushala gear. So this one doesn't need Kushala gear to be effective. You can flex it, etc. We're going to take a look at that on the next slide. And this build has a theoretical practical damage assessment of 3,426. It's still really good, it's still incredibly good, and in fact, as you see right here, it has freeze, piercing, and slicing. If you use the Rathalos light bowgun, which is one of my personal favorites, that is the same exact ammo lineup as the Rathalos light bowgun. So, because it has such consistency, and it is incredibly powerful, the thing about it is, it's weird because, weirdly enough, light bowgun's best build does not have elemental attack. If you noticed, it's burst 2 and wex 2. It's not elemental attack. However, this is actually common and due to the need for reload speed level 3 and recoil down level 3. Light bowguns, in order to do maximum damage, DPS, and power, you need 2 skills at max, and sadly that's just a limitation of the light bowgun until something better comes down the line, or we get some more gear that just gives you like reload speed level 2 and recoil down level 2, which is probably never going to happen in one piece of gear. If it does, that is really, really cool. But yes, weirdly enough, again, light bowgun does not use elemental attack to max out its damage. To use this build, you need the Kushala Daora light bowgun at grade 8 or grade 10 or as high as you can get it. The Coral Puke Puke helmet at grade 8. The Paluma Mill at grade 6. Rothian Van Braces at grade 6. Coral Puke Puke coil at grade 6. And the Azarathalos Greaves at grade 6. And here's that comparison I was talking about. Here's the Kushala light bowgun builds analysis. Here we compare the budget build versus multiple Kushala light bowgun builds. And as you see right here, there's a whole lot of them. But if you see here, there is a minimal difference as far as damage goes. So if you don't like the Puke Puke helm, the Coral Puke Puke helm, and Rothian Van Braces because you don't want to play with burst, that's perfectly fine. In fact, remember I told you that elemental attack I was talking about? If you want to use elemental attack level 3, which is the Legion helmet and varied Van Braces, there will be little drop off in damage and you won't have to activate burst. As you see right over here, the one I'm talking about, the elemental attack 3, that's at the very bottom at 3,296, which is okay. It's only 3.79%. In hindsight, that's not really a lot. It's 130 damage. Wait, how did I do that math? But yeah, it's not that bad at all. If you want to use that for more consistency and, like I said, not have to practice activating burst and doing it that way, you could totally just use elemental attack level 3. It's up to you. And lastly, here we compare the budget Kushala light bowgun builds versus the top Kushala light bowgun builds. Here we compare the Kushala budget light bowgun build versus the rest of the ice meta. Barriet is the highest damage, but carries a weird ammo type, which is spread ammo and pierce ammo. So if you look at the chart right over here, we have 3,713, which is 8% more than the Kushala one. And then you have Legion at the bottom, which is at minus 1.9%. So it's in the middle, which is very weird, because you would think, right, Kushala weapons are at the highest, but they're not. But that's just damage-wise, because spread and pierce is a very weird typing. You have to go in, spread shot for maximum damage, and then pierce at close range, and hope that you're hitting what you need to hit. So yeah, it's a very weird combination. But all factors considered, yes, Barriet light bowgun does the most damage in a very weird way. In comparison though, like I mentioned before, with the Kushala light bowgun, you have the same thing as the Rathalos one, which has normal ammo, pierce ammo, and slicing ammo, which in my opinion is one of the best combinations along with sticking camo because you are able to play at the right ranges and keep the monster right in front of you. In other words, you don't have to be up close and personal like pierce ammo. I mean, not pierce, spread ammo. Spread ammo, you have to be close. And then you have to dive out and look and fire. With the Kushala light bowgun, you don't have to do that. You can stay at one consistent range and fire all your shots without having to worry about that nonsense. So that's what makes the Kushala light bowgun so good. It's the most consistent ammo out of all the light bowguns, and this makes it worth investing into. So, Kushala light bowgun, if you already built it and using it, you probably understand what I mean, or again, if you use the Rathalos light bowgun, you totally get what I'm talking about. And in closing, hopefully this video helps you decide which range build you want to use. Remember, Kushala weapons are expensive, so if you are looking to build them, look to commit to them for the long run. No, seriously, you're going to be spending a lot of time going around and hunting and destroying all these Kushala Daora. I wish you the best of luck in your drops. So for that purpose, you're going to want to make sure you are looking at which one you really want to build and make sure you're pouring your resources effectively into the one you want to build. Don't worry if you're not going to get them right away. It's going to be here for a while, so go ahead, hunt Kushala as much as possible and make sure, again, you're using your resources wisely. Please do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, and comment for the YouTube algorithm. Hopefully these builds do help you out. I think that's the last of the budget builds, or I think I put all of them. I think I did melee, I did range now. So now, there you go. Most, if not, of all the Kushala content is out there. If you have any requests, put it in the comments. But again, do me a huge favor, like, subscribe, comment for the YouTube algorithm. I'm hoping you get all your drops that you desire for the Daora horns. And yeah, the Daora horns, that's a rarity 6. And that your hunts are going extremely well. Good luck on your grinds, and I will see y'all on the next video.